So, hi everyone, and welcome back to Gen Z Takes the Table. I am your host, Asia Barbie, and today's conversation is going to be all about the power of the pivot, what it looks like to adjust your path and still move with intention. So, as students and early professionals, we're oftentimes told that we need to have everything figured out, and in reality, growth happens when we learn how to adapt. So, through spaces like Braven, we're constantly thinking about how to turn opportunities and outcomes, even when your path may not be linear. So today I am joined by two lovely guests. We have Miss Hannah and Azajah. And we are, oh, nope. Okay, so today we are joined by two lovely guests. We have Miss Hannah and Mrs. Azajah. And Hannah is a third-year sociology major with a minor in English who is originally from Greenville, South Carolina. She's deeply passionate about media and addressing social injustices through representation and has already taken initiative to create spaces and leadership opportunities on campus. And then we have Azajah, who is a graduating senior majoring in political science on the pre-law track who has built an incredible foundation in policy, law, and civic engagement. From her work in the Atlanta City Council and Department of Law to her leadership as a co-founder of Spelman Black Girls Vote, which shout out to you for that. I wish it was here when I was at school. So she will also be continuing her journey as a Columbia HBCU fellow at Columbia University, which congratulations.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into our conversation because pivoting does not look a certain type of way. As we all know, especially with me being a Spelman alum, with y'all matriculating through Spelman, pivoting is very important. So I do just kind of want to rewind a little bit and talk about your journey when you first came to Spelman and what did you think that your path was going to look like versus what actually ended up happening. And Hannah, we can start with you.
So when I first came to Spelman, I actually didn't have much of an idea what I wanted to do. I registered as a documentary and film major, and then as soon as I got on campus, I ended up changing it to sociology. I kind of always wanted to go in the communications field, but I didn't know how that looked. I mean, I didn't necessarily want to do the social media route. I kind of wanted to do more so writing, but I didn't really know, I know Spelman didn't have communications major, so I was like, oh, I'll do sociology because I am passionate about, social issues and how people matriculate through life and just the social norms. So I did that, but I still didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Not until, I guess, about my summer going into my junior year, I kind of was kind of sure what I wanted to do. I ended up in political / policy roles.
Yeah.
So I felt like it changed from me kind of not knowing what I wanted to do at all, just having kind of an idea to kind of me kind of being set into what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you?
So for me, kind of the same thing. I knew I wanted to be an attorney. I want to be a legislative attorney.
Nice. Did you know that coming into Spelman?
I did not know I wanted to be a legislative. I wanted
Okay.
to be an intellectual property attorney.
Gotcha. Okay.
I knew I wanted to be an attorney since middle school. Wasn't entirely too sure of the type until I was in high school. Wasn't entirely too sure of what school I wanted to go to regarding undergrad. I asked my friend at Howard, and she was like, you need to go to Spelman. It was between Spelman and Clark, and she was like, you need to go to Spelman. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to Spelman. I'm from Delaware. Delaware is a very, very small state. Not a lot of opportunities there as opposed to a bigger state or a bigger city. And so coming from that, I suffered with imposter syndrome a lot. And so here I knew that I just needed to go to class, get good grades, go to law school, and then become an attorney. That was my plan. That's not how the plan went.
Yeah.
I feel like my plan or reality was way better than the plan that I had. I had so many different opportunities and internships and networking events that were able to properly shape the outcome that I'm receiving from coming here.
For sure.
So I didn't really have much of a plan. It was really just like a let go, let God, trust God kind of situation for me.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And also something that's really powerful about being at Spelman is being supported in that.
Yeah.
And having the exposure. I think Spelman has so many opportunities for you to become, as corny as it sounds, but a choice to change the world.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. So Azajah, at what point did you realize that, which you kind of already touched on this a little bit, but that things may not be as linear for you or straightforward within your journey?
I feel like that kind of came with a few disappointments coming from here, or coming from attending school here and the different experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much into detail, but just to say, like, I had plans, right? Some of those plans did not go the way that I wanted them to go. I had opportunities that I would apply for, and I'm like, okay, well, if I get this opportunity, that'll be a gateway into this, or that'll segue into that. And I didn't get the opportunity. So then, you know, coming from those rejections, I really had to understand that those are just redirections, and it just reshaped into what I have now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have something to add to that, but Hannah, I want to hear from you too.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, no
Sorry.
problem. At what point did you realize that things may not be as linear or straightforward that you expected?
I would definitely say rejection as well. When I first came into Spelman, all I really knew how to do was like community service. Like that's kind of what I wanted to do, like for, I guess, extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
And then once I found out how competitive everything was at Spelman, I'm like, I can't even do community service. Like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what to do. Like I didn't really feel like I had a place here. So definitely just like continue to put myself out there and like honestly getting the one yes and kind of like from there going forward. Like I said, I didn't know I was going to be in policy or politics. That was the last place I ever thought I was going to be in. But that's the first yes I really got. So after that, I just continued to pivot. You know, like I thought I was going to be something completely different. And then I just like saw what I got and then I just went from there.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. I think in relation to that, like for me personally, once I graduated college, I was intending for my senior year to go to law school. And I actually have a friend who did straight from college to law school without that like bridge. And she's like, I would recommend that you get a little like life experience and things like that. And so like the fact that you're having an HBCU fellowship, that's amazing. That's a really nice bridge while you're still immersed in all of that. And for the audience, we'll touch on that a little bit later. So yeah, like pivoting is really interesting because now I'm here at Braven and I'm actually doing something that I love to do. First off, speaking with y'all, like being involved in the Spelman community and all of that. So yeah, like pivoting can be, it may not be your plan, but it'll be God's plan. You know?
And I think that's really important, especially because that was also part of my plan to go straight through to law school. I always said I didn't want to take a gap year,
right?
Because if I take a gap year, I might not
go back. Yeah.
Exactly. So the plan was junior year, take the LSAT. Senior year, apply to law school. Right after senior year, go to law school.
Right.
Junior year came, I faced the LSAT. I got really scared.
Yeah.
I think I might have like testing anxiety or something.
Yeah.
But the LSAT is like a real challenge for me. Even still, I haven't to this day taken it. So then senior year came and I'm like, we have 2 weeks left of senior year and I still haven't taken the LSAT. So I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do? I'm probably just going to find like a job to at least get some kind of life experience before I go to law school. I want my gap year to be productive, you know. But then I heard about the HBCU fellowship program. I applied, and I'm like, okay, if I don't get it, then we'll stick with the original plan.
Right.
If I do get it, then that'll be a nice bridge, and that I got it. And that was literally the plan that I prayed for.
Yes,
so, yes.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, so kind of let's go into Hannah. I want to talk about like your passion for media and representation. So, how have you navigated pursuing communications and media while majoring in sociology?
I would definitely say leveraging my sociology degree when I like apply for outside interviews and outside opportunities. And honestly, leaning also on my linear network. Like, I'm making sure I'm telling my friends, hey, if you know anyone.
Yes.
Because it was my friend who actually recommended me to apply for Spelman's communication office. So I actually am now, I work there as an external media.
Nice.
And honestly, just making sure I'm applying for outside opportunities because sociology is heavily pre-law and sometimes even pre-med. And I didn't know if I wanted to go to law school. Like that was an option in my first year, but I realized, like how you said, like if I take that gap year, I'm not
Yeah.
going back. So, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want to take the gap year. I think I
Yeah.
just want to go straight to work. But I'm thinking about getting my MBA later on. But as for now, I think just leveraging my sociology degree. So I take things like sociology, education, urban housing for sociology.
Nice.
So I'm kind of focused in like the political side of communications. So when issues of housing come up, I mention things I learned in my urban sociology class. Or when things about education come up, my mom's one the teacher, and then I just now finished sociology education, so I know the injustices that happen in the education systems as well. So just leveraging whatever. It can be like a one class you took with your major and you feel like nothing else resonate, but that one class, you can use it in whatever opportunity you have.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I love that you touched on your linear network because that's something that's so important and I think overlooked a lot of times.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Yeah, because especially being in spaces like the AUC, like, yeah, they're your classmates right now, but
Right.
these people can be mayors,
Yeah.
legislators, these people can be like scientists. So it is very, very important to understand that and operate from like, yeah, they're your friends, but also keeping in contact and having good relationships because your linear network is everything, especially once you graduate and people start like matriculating through their careers and things of that sort. So let's see, Azajah, I know you've been on a pre-law track. So how do you feel that your path is clear from the, well, let me rephrase that. Did you feel like your path was clear from the beginning or did it evolve over your time here at Spelman? Or both?
Honestly, both.
Okay.
It felt like it was clear because, like I said, it was pretty straightforward for me.
Yeah.
Get good grades, go to law school, become an attorney.
Yeah.
That did not happen like that. Certain delays, certain denials, but then other opportunities. Other doors were open that I couldn't even have like expected or planned for. That just like completely elevated the plan that I have, the path that I have. It's like first it was just go straight to law school. Now it's like, okay, well now I have like I'm going to have an Ivy League degree under my belt. I'm going to have a degree from the #1 HBCU under my belt. So that's all going to look very good on my law school application.
Absolutely.
So I would say, I know we're not giving advice yet, but just like your plan is probably not going to go as you plan. Your life is probably not going to go as you plan, but allow it to evolve and watch how God works.
Absolutely. That is so powerful.
And I will also say, my pastor always says, write your plans in pencil because it's definitely good.
Yes,
that's good.
Yes.
Absolutely. The only thing constant is change.
Yes,
Honestly.
that's true.
So, alrighty. So let's get a little bit deeper into pivots since like that's where I feel the growth really happens and you get stretched a lot. Because I know for me, this one is not about me, but so I just want to ask both of you guys, what does pivoting personally mean to you? Let me know if you need a little bit to think about it.
Pivoting to me means being adaptable. I know that's pretty cliche to say, but that's literally what it is, being adaptable. I mentioned earlier how I came from like a really small state with, little to no opportunity. And so I came in with imposter syndrome. When I came to Spelman, there were all these girls, a part of all these different organizations, Jack and Jill. The only type of Jack and Jill I was aware of was like the bathroom type. I'm like, the poem, the nursery rhyme. I'm like, what is Jack and Jill? What is Lynx? Like, what's all these people, caviar on their hand? I'm like, this is not me. Like, this is not me. Like, my family, we grew up, we faced housing instability. Like, we are on two completely different sides of the spectrum. How in the heck did we make it to the same, like, medium here? But I had to adapt my mindset in order to become the woman that I am today. I had to pivot in order to allow my plan to evolve and to elevate in a sense. And so pivoting to me, I feel like this is literally, because like you said, the only thing that's constant in life is change. You're going to have to pivot. If you don't pivot, you're going to stay stuck. And who wants to stay stuck? Like, nobody wants to stay stuck. So
let's be real, right? Hannah, what about you?
I would honestly say, like, making it work with what you have and being flexible to, like, the possibility of it changing. Like, when I came to Spelman, I didn't have really any connections. I live in Greenville, South Carolina, so it was pretty. I lived in a black neighborhood, but it was a white area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, going to that, like, kind of being a little bit insecure. Like I said, like, I don't come from the same background as a lot of these ladies. So, it was kind of, I felt a little bit insecure, but I knew I got into Spelman. Like you said, like, we're, like, meeting here. Like, I'm still at the same place as you, whether we grew up the same or not. So, kind of just making work what I had and making sure I'm leveraging any opportunity I have and kind of going to it with a confidence, even though it may be little confidence, showing up like I should be there already. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's so powerful. Because sometimes, like, you need to do things scared or do things nervous.
Yeah.
And, no, I get that.
And that's been the epitome of my whole life.
Yeah. Because you never know until you just take the leap.
Yeah.
So, Hannah, I do want to talk a little bit about SPRAC. If you can go into that, explain a little bit about what it is. And then also, because I know that you took the initiative to step into leadership roles and then rebuild that community because it wasn't there and then now it is again.
Yes.
So,
So SPRAC is Spelman's Public Relations and Communications Club. It was established when I was a freshman, and then both of the presidents were actually seniors. So when I was a sophomore, when I was a junior, that's when it kind of died down. So I remember I was in the group me for it, and I didn't really hear much going on. And I was like, oh, like, is, like, what's going on with SPRAC? Like, is there any e-board opportunities I can step into? Because my sophomore year, I was like, careful to apply for e-boards because I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm a good leader right now. Like, I remember there was a lot of mentorship. I'm like, I don't even look up to me right now. So let me make sure I'm like, so I feel like I was in the position where I was able to lead. So they actually said that SPRAC was no longer because both leadership ended up, being seniors. So I was like, and then a girl in the group chat texted me separately. She was like, I'm really sad about SPRAC ending. Like, do you think? I said, yeah, like, I think we should, like, try to see what we can do with it, even though, we're starting from scratch. So that summer, which was this past summer, we actually ended up calling Spelman, trying to see what we can do, of course, and kind of getting our own team about who we know to see if they were willing to come back with SPRAC and kind of make a comeback, even though it was a little, like, delay, but try to make a comeback. And we ended up, that's when I got my job at the Office of Communications. Yeah. So I made sure to network there, and they ended up being our advisors. And then I saw two girls, and they actually ended up being on the e-board. Nice. So we made sure to, like, I guess put it around campus on social media as much as we can, and also use the girls who graduated as kind of mentors and things what we should do because they had connections as well. Yeah. So we're still up and coming. We have about like 50 members. So nice. I feel like we had a lot of growth from like not having anybody. But yeah, that's what it is.
I love that. So what I'm hearing is it sounds like your network was able to help you with that. Okay. See? Network is expensive. Yeah. Expensive. Network actually is expensive because hey, that turns into money once you graduate.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so with reviving SPRAC, did you feel ready, or was that something that you just kind of did scared or nervous?
Oh my goodness, I did very scared. I was like, I was talking to the guy. I'm like, "Are you sure you want me to be president?" like I'm still getting experience under my belt, but I knew that if it wasn't me, then it genuinely was not going to be anyone, and I didn't want that club to die because we didn't have a type of community, like we didn't have communications or PR. I know it's around the AUC, but it's not at Spelman. So I knew like it was kind of bigger than me. Like a lot of girls who want to go in communications leverage it. So I wanted to make sure there was an actual community where it can be focused and like we can give as much advice, and I'm very open with the community. Like this is an open, transparent space. Like since there is no major, we're all learning, and I make sure to bring in experts so they can, because like when they're speaking to the gender body, I'm taking notes too. I'm making sure to like write my notes. So yeah, I would definitely say that. Yeah,
I understand. I love that for you. Now, Okay. So this is something that I'm sure both of you guys can resonate with. What is something that you might have done not 100% ready? And then what motivated you to continue through the process?
For me, it would be co-founding Black Girls Vote.
Mm-hmm.
I co-founded it with my other co-founder and the original president in our sophomore year. I was not ready. I was inspired, or it was suggested, rather, for me to start this chapter from my Howard friend.
Yeah.
And so she was the original president and I was the vice president. And we weren't ready. We applied to become an RSO so that, we could do things on campus the legal way and all that. Spelman keeps rejecting us.
Really?
Still to this day, yes. To this day. But to kind of go back to the last question, like what is pivoting mean to you? I would say it's finding a yes in a space of no's. Because that is
that's powerful. Can we sit on that for a little bit?
We can.
Yeah, repeat that for us.
Pivoting to me is finding a yes in a space of no's. That is literally what Spelman Black Girls Vote has had to do from its founding year in 2023.
Yeah.
We have heard every form of no. We have heard every form of unfortunately, we regret to inform you, I'm sorry to say. But in the midst of that, rather than allowing that to deter our vision or the mission that we had for this organization, we pivoted. We found a way to make it work. And so I'm not sure if you know, but in order to do anything on Spelman in the capacity of an organization, you have to be an RSO.
Yeah.
We found a way around that too.
I love that.
And so from that, we were able to build BGV up from the ground up. We have about 70-ish members. We had a few different events with Senator Angela Brooks, Maryland Governor Wes Moore, Atlanta City Councilwoman Ishay Collins, Atlanta City Council member Byron Amos. Wow. They came. We had an event with all of them. I think that's what really blew us up across campus. It's kind of what put us on the map. So now people know what Spelman BGV is. And even though we're still not a registered organization, people know who we are.
Yeah.
People still want to contribute to us. People still want to collaborate with us. And I feel like that's the result of us pivoting. That's the result of our pivot, our adaptability, the mindset that we're going to make this work regardless.
Exactly.
That's what Black women, as in and of ourselves, that's what we have to do.
Exactly.
And so we weren't ready, but I feel like I'm still not ready, but we're making it work.
Absolutely. I mean, it sounds like y'all are popping. I love that. Especially because y'all could have taken that decision and been like, well, okay, Spelman is saying no, so we just can't do it.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
But persisting and continuing on, I see in the both of you that you guys have been able, or you ladies have been able to take that, what started as an idea, and turn it into something tangible and an experience for other students, so it's impactful.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So let's see. Did you happen to have any pivots within policy and law?
Delve into that a little bit deeper.
Okay. So I know that you briefly talked about being an IP attorney, intellectual property attorney, and then now switching over to
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I thought you meant, but I just wanted to make sure. So that was a pivot. I wanted to be an intellectual property attorney because I do love the idea of running a business, but I used to have a business, so I know what it's like, but I just, at one point, it became like a chore for me. But I've always been interested in the law, and I know that IP law is an intersectionality between business and law. Coming into Spelman, I interned, in 2024, I interned with Measures for Justice in Selma, Alabama. And through that, I was able to work with some of their pretrial diversion programs for a few of the courthouses that I was interning under.
Nice.
And I saw the discrepancies between legislation and underserved communities or marginalized communities. And there
Absolutely.
are a lot of discrepancies, a
Yeah.
lot of gaps. And like I mentioned before, growing up, my family was one of the ones that fell in between the gaps between legislation or legislation that was meant to protect marginalized communities. And so I knew I didn't want to be a politician, not my cup of tea, but I'm still very interested in law and policy and law. When you intersect those two, you get legislative law.
Exactly.
So that was kind of the pivot between being an IP attorney and being a legislative attorney, just getting that hands-on experience and working hand in hand with those underserved communities and in those courthouses and in those, political offices, those political spaces where change should be happening. And so that's kind of how I made my decision in about 2024.
I love that. That's really impactful. Hannah, so I know that you were talking about your long-term goals. And so I want to know, like, what have you been doing throughout your matriculation at Spelman that aligns with your long-term goals? Or were you quickly found, this does not align and resonate with me? And then how did pivoting, how were you able to navigate that?
I guess, like, any opportunity I get, I make sure, like, to work it into what I want to do, I guess.
Yeah.
I know my freshman year, like, after my freshman year, that summer, I didn't have an internship, but I got an opportunity to work at a healthcare facility as, like, working in, doing, like, the paperwork and things like that. So I was like, okay, like, I don't mind working in health, kind of, even though it wasn't necessarily there. So when I saw that and then I saw there's health policy, I'm like, okay, well, I worked at a healthcare facility before, and I guess using what I have, like I said, using what you have to go to where you want to go. So I remember this past summer, I was able to go to Capitol Hill to lobby for SNAP benefits not getting cut. And I was the only one from South Carolina.
Really?
So, I mean, it was yeah. So, I mean, telling my story to those politicians who kind of already had their mind made up.
Right.
But I guess I use that to, like, oh, okay, so I do want to go into politics, but I want to make sure I'm not that way. I know I want to make sure that I'm actually empathizing with people's stories. So I guess using any opportunity I have to go towards, or making it a point to go towards, like, who I want to be when I'm working to the public affairs or political communications, I guess that field.
Yeah.
So I feel like nothing I've done has been necessarily out of line, I guess. Like, even when I used to work at TJ Maxx, I'm like, well, no, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use it to what I have. So, yeah.
I will say working in retail does expose you to a lot of different types of people with a lot of different types of thinking and questions.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So what I'm hearing from the both of you is, like, pivoting isn't quitting, but realigning yourself with your mission.
100%.
I love that. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit internships and, like, career opportunities, because this is where pivoting can become very important, you know? So for the both of y'all, how did you navigate finding internships when things may have not perfectly aligned on paper?
You want to go first?
Oh, sure. Okay. So, I got my first internship, I guess, last summer, and that was from me being transparent with the people in I went to, like, a little summit. So I was like, yeah, I don't have an internship. I was making sure to network with those people. So it was by that I got, like, oh, Hannah, you don't have an internship? Oh, I heard about this opportunity. I can put your name in. So I guess, like, I know at Spelman we kind of want to make sure we have it all together, but I guess also being transparent, because obviously, like, if you feel like you have it all together, you're not going to be able to get new experiences and opportunities. So being honest about where you are, like, hey, like, even if you didn't get an internship because a lot of people don't get internships. So if you don't get an internship, using your summer to learn more, maybe take a class, get a certificate, go to a summit, like, go to a conference, something like that, and using that on your resume to kind of I guess, stretch your experience. So when the next interview comes up, you can say that experience.
Absolutely.
Because if you belittle it in your mind, it can sound big. It can sound big to someone else, but if you belittle it in your mind, you're not going to believe that you made such an impact when you did.
Exactly.
So I feel like being honest and also just making sure you're leaning on your network. Like, hey, like, do you know of any opportunities, or do you know of anyone hiring, or, you know, I'm still looking for an internship. So just being transparent about where you are.
Absolutely. I love that. Transparency is really important, and I feel like that can be lost at Spelman with the fear of, you know, being in Spelman.
For me, I would have to say networking as well. I want to say 95% of the opportunities I've gotten were a result of, like, my friends.
Yeah.
95, y'all.
95. My freshman year internship, I was flown out to Los Angeles to intern under a Superior Court judge thank you.
Right.
Through HBCU to law. I have to shout my girl Coriana out. I don't know if you guys know her.
Of
Coriana,
course.
yeah, because who doesn't know Coriana, you know? She texted me. She sent me the opportunity. I don't even know how I missed it in the email, but she texted it to me. I applied. Okay. Confession. I actually ended up getting the interview questions before the interview.
Lucky.
Granted, the interview questions were really easy, so I didn't spend much time on them. I looked over them and I was like, okay, like this is something that I can do. Yeah. But I got those from a friend as well. Sophomore year, I interned in Selma, Alabama. I had like 3-4 different internships simultaneously in Alabama. All of those were from word of mouth, from a friend. Junior year, I interned with City Council and City of Atlanta Department of Law. That was from my friend Darion, who was graduating from Morehouse. He interned under Councilwoman Ishay Collins, who attended his graduation. I met her, I networked with her, and she was like, let me know if you need anything. And I was like, well,
actually,
I need a summer internship, actually.
Right.
She was like, okay, well, let me see what I can do. A couple weeks later, she calls me. I'm interning under her. And then through that, I was able to connect with the Department of Law, and I was able to get that internship as well.
Yeah.
This summer, I'll be interning with Capitol Hill through Braven. You know,
shout out to Braven.
So it's really just a matter of networking, really just a matter of paying attention to who is in your circle.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why, like, for students who are currently in the accelerator or maybe taking the accelerator, when we tell y'all that 85% of jobs are gained through networking, it is real. Yeah. So, yeah, like, networking is so important. And even for our introverts, because I understand sometimes it's like, I don't really want to talk to people. And because I can understand that. I call myself, like, an introvert. But also, I think, like, practice makes perfect. And you're never going to get used to it if you don't try. Like, just try it. You may fall, but you're going to get back up. And you're going to learn from it.
I also feel like when you write, like, you have a writing voice. When you're in the job, like, in an area, you also have, like, a career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You have to, yes, I'm very introverted. But when I need that job, I'm not going to be
I'm super extroverted.
Yeah, I'm going to be very extroverted. Like, also, I feel like a thing that will help with internships is leaning into HBCU cohorts or women caucuses, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, because I know I interned with Georgia Legislative Black Caucus this past semester, and I got that from my friend who goes to Spelman, who did it last year. So I'm like, you know what, like, definitely, like, HBCU cohorts, that really helps.
Yeah.
Also. So,
absolutely. Especially because I think within those types of communities, we all want to see each other thrive.
Yeah,
you know?
literally.
Yeah. Alrighty. I feel like we've kind of touched a little bit on these topics, but if you'd like to just add anything else, what advice would you give to current students who may feel like underqualified when applying or even suffer with imposter syndrome?
I would say, for one, not to get all spiritual or biblical or whatever, but God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the call. If God has called you to participate in something like this at a time such as this, trust me, you don't need anything on paper.
Exactly.
Like, I've entered into spaces that I still to this day don't think I've been qualified to enter into. I mean, getting flown out to California, when have we ever heard of that? You know, I mean, like even applying to Spelman, I only applied to see if I would get in. It's something that
That's
I
funny.
yes, it's something
Y'all
that I
have
tell
that
people
story.
all the time. Like I had a couple safety nets, but Spelman was just the one where I was like, let me just see if I can. Let me just see if I can make it. Like I suffered with imposter syndrome that bad.
Yeah.
Applying to Columbia through the HBCU fellowship program. Columbia is an Ivy League university.
Right.
I'm coming from Delaware.
Mm.
Delaware? Like, what? That's what people tell me all the time when I tell them I'm from Delaware. Like,
That's
please,
insane.
like,
Okay.
you're corny.
Right.
But applying to Columbia, it was getting into Columbia. Like, okay, that's great. But then, like, the HBCU fellowship pays for everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can get into Columbia. That's great. But can I make it in this fellowship?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the fellowship, and I'm just like,
Look at God.
what is
Right.
going
Yeah.
on right now? Like, I would just say, like, you really just have to put all of your trust in God. When you put when you cast all of your cares into His hands, He will do what He intends to do with it. You really just have to trust Him.
Absolutely. Because sometimes your problems are too big for you.
Yeah.
So you got to give it to someone else.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
On to the next at this point.
What about you, Hannah?
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, of course. What advice would you give to students who may feel underqualified when applying to internships and things of that sort, or suffer from imposter syndrome?
I would feel like do it. I know this is annoying, but do it scared.
Yeah.
Like do it scared, and also like just trust that everything's gonna work out. Like you're already at Spelman. Like the hard part's already over with.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh,
I feel
yes.
like
That's good.
we're like, oh, like I know I'm at Spelman, but like I said, like when we go into Spelman, it's genuinely a portal. Like things that we're doing now, like my friends who go to PWIs and other colleges, they don't really know much about internships. Oh, I may have one, but
Right.
it's not as big of a deal. So like you're already ahead, and
Mhm.
just continue to trust God, and like He's gonna really direct your path, because obviously you can't do it in your own strength. Like
Right.
all you can do is really submit that resume, submit that application. Just trust that everything's gonna work out, because it genuinely is. Like it's just
Yeah.
no way it's not gonna work
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean? It may not look how you want it to,
Mhm.
but it's the path that you're meant to be on. So
No, absolutely. And I want to share a little bit too. When I graduated from Spelman, I was applying to all of these different jobs, and being a political science major, I kind of wanted to go into like policy or nonprofit. So I was actually going to apply. Well, I did apply, and I met someone networking, right? I was at a nail salon. I met this really nice lady who just retired from federal government. So we're talking. I'm telling her that I just graduated from Spelman. I want to get into policy a little bit more outside of like the experience I've already had. She connects me with someone who's at the EPA. I apply. Things are going very well. Then I get a contact from Braven, because I applied here as well, nonprofit, right? And the interview process was very smooth. I was very prepared for it. And then I got the offer. And then a little bit later, I ended up accepting it. And a little bit later, I got the offer from the federal government. Here's the issue, though. It's 2026, and we see what's happening.
yeah.
So if I would have been like, okay, or just drop this, or
Yeah.
timing, or anything, I don't think I would be sitting here talking to you ladies.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really got to give it to God, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are we on time? A little bit over, so we are just going to. We did the advice and like the real talk and all of that. So I do just want to say, do y'all have any closing remarks or anything? Let's hear it.
I would say like you really got this. Like you got
Yeah.
this. Like I know it's hard, and I know it feels like suffocating, and you can compare yourselves to other people, but your path is genuinely your path. Like it's not going to look like anyone else. You can compare it, but you don't know what they've been through, and it's just not the same. It's not going to be the same. Like everyone is coming in with different perspectives, and everyone's coming with different experiences, and that's going to also direct their path. So I feel like do not compare. I know you're going to compare, but try
Yeah.
not to as much as you can, and try to just stay in your own lane, and try to put your focus on what you're doing right now, and don't belittle your experiences, even though it may not sound like everyone else's. One thing I learned about professionalism is that you're going to milk any little job opportunity you had. So just think about it like that. Like, oh, say you did something you had like a 2-day thing, or a professional thing. milk it.
Yeah,
Because you
absolutely.
still have that experience. And just because it may have been all summer long or may not have looked like other people's, you should still know that you got that experience, and that's already a blessing. So just make sure you're staying in your own lane. Try to focus on your own path. Sometimes you gotta log out of LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You know, like
Hello.
it's not just Instagram,
You
it's
do
also
have to log out of
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say just kind of focus on your own journey.
I love that. Innovation.
Just to kind of go back off of what she said, it's really not about where you start. It's about the journey to where you're going. You can literally create a whole new life for yourself. Based off of the choices that you make. All it takes is like one decision. They call it playing with the fabric of life.
Yeah.
Like it takes one decision. It takes one yes. One open door for you to create something that you could have never imagined for yourself.
Absolutely.
Give yourself that opportunity to do so. Do not allow yourself to be limited by where you came from, or how you grew up, what your parents said, what your grandparents did, how your family used to be. You can be something completely different and step outside of that and create something so beautiful for yourself.
I know that's right.
Great.
Y'all have edited this in a perfect way. And I would just like to say to all of our listeners, thank you so much. And just remember, comparison is the thief of joy. My dad always tells me that, but it's honestly true.
Yeah.
So just know that your journey is your journey, and don't be afraid of it.